To the audience, online viewers, I welcome you to day 2 of the quarterfinal stage. Tertiary Business Science Challenge 2024 version 6.0. This morning's contest is a special one, a hugely anticipated one between two very great institutions. 3 contests down the line, 3 public universities qualifying to the semi-final stage. The University of Cape Coast, University of Ghana, University for Development Studies. 3 schools from 3 different zones, ladies and gentlemen. This morning we are about to witness an interesting contest between a private university, that is Pentecost University, and a public university, the University of Education Winneba. We are reminded that the University of Education Winneba is a defending national champion. And yes, they are also the Southwest Zone champions. The Tertiary Business Science Challenge is brought to us by GRAPHICBUSINESS in partnership with the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana and the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. Our sponsors include Gold Ghana, PwC, MTN Ghana, Compi Ghana, Glycolife, as well as the Ghana National Association of Teachers. Our media partners TV3, Daily Graphic Online. We are reminded that the program is streaming live on Facebook, Daily Graphic Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, Pentecost University have battled 2 of the best public universities in the country in this year's contest. The University of Ghana at the zonal level and the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology at the round of 16. They have met some of the best, including a zonal and a previous national champion this year. In all of these contests, they performed creditably well, although they lost. But they have learned valuable lessons. It is instructive to note that they will not be intimidated by UEW in any form or shape because they have met some of the best and they came out quite successful. They will certainly be worthy champions or worthy opponents for the University of Education Winneba. Now, for University of Education Winneba, qualifying to the semi-final stage will be one of their minimum requirements, being the defending national champion. They are poised to do a back-to-back at the national level. And to do that, they will have to defeat Pentecost University at this stage. But of course, Pentecost University will hear none of that. They are here for the win. They are here to qualify to the semi-final stage for the very first time. They want to make history, and they are poised to make history. Ladies and gentlemen, will it be the private university or the public university? Will it be Soutium or will it be Winneba? Ladies and gentlemen, will it be the Southeast Zone or the Southwest Zone, ladies and gentlemen? Only time will tell. Now, the team from the Pentecost University is led here by Dr. Frank Enchi, as well as Mr. Michael Kumsin. The team from the University of Education Winneba is led here by Sami Gajo and ably supported by Marcus Obuaditete and James Nana Ofori. Remember that James was the MVP for last year's Tertiary Business Science Challenge. This promises to be exciting. It promises to be interesting and engaging. Ladies and gentlemen, join me with a round of applause as I welcome contestants on stage. Gentlemen, you are welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Please introduce yourselves, beginning from Pentecost University.
I'm Bernard Abeka, BSc Accounting final year. Manko Alfred.
George Ebokobina, Accounting final year.
You are welcome, gentlemen. And who do we have from UEW?
Agboard and Joshua, BB Accounting level 400.
Fiadupe success there for BB Accounting level 400.
are here on Kojo BB accounting level 300.
You're welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you,
Now,
sir.
this is the quarterfinal stage, the fourth quarterfinal stage. A place at the semi-final is at stake. University of Education, Winneba, how have you prepared for this contest?
We have done our best and then we are very much ready for this contest, sir.
What should we expect from you?
Our utmost best, sir.
Okay. Pentecost University, how have you prepared for this contest?
We've prepared enough. So far, so good.
And what should we be expecting from you?
Well, it has been always the fate of Pentecost University to meet the defending national champion so that we can break their defensive lines. And so far as to man it is impossible, but to God it is possible. Expect possible effects from us.
Ladies and gentlemen, the two schools are seated. They are ready for action. This is going to be a very interesting one. Only one school can make it from here. There is no coming back for the school that loses this year. It means there is a lot at stake. It is either you win or you are out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be interesting. Yes, we will see how it goes. It's going to be full of violence. And of course, you know I love academic violence. My name is Al Hassan Yusuf Traore. I love academic violence. Let's have some violence this morning, ladies and gentlemen. The contest is going to be organized in 5 rounds. Theory, calculations, business case of the day, graphic business segment, true or false segment, radio segment. Those are the 5 rounds that we will be examining them on. We will begin with round 1 from my right with the University of Education Winneba. This is on theory. Both schools will be tested on any of the business areas. They will have the opportunity of answering 7 major questions. A major question, you have 10 seconds to answer for 3 points. For a bonus, 5 seconds to answer for 1 point. 2 attempts only at a major question, 1 attempt at a bonus unless otherwise indicated. We begin with the University of Education Winneba. UEW, you have to explain the concept of organizational inertia and its implications for organizational change efforts. Explain the concept of organizational inertia and its implications for organizational change efforts.
All right, so organizational inertia is the organization's resistance to change. So any implication would lead to rigidity in the organization that would go in a long way to deprive growth.
That is correct. Pentecost University, explain the concept of cultural fit in the context of recruitment and selection. Explain the concept of cultural fit in the context of recruitment and selection processes.
Okay, so with cultural fit, it is done or it is assessed on the employee to make the employee the suitable person for the organization or the organizational culture.
Come again.
So with cultural fit, it is based on the selection of employee, based on the underlined behaviors or the ideas, which is being based on the organizational idea. So here, the person needs to be the suitable candidate or the suitable employee to be employed to fit the culture of the organization.
Yes, I'll take that. Essentially, it is about employing somebody whose beliefs, whose attitudes, whose values fit that of the organization to whom they are being employed, and that is correct. Common preamble to the two of you. Common preamble. Daniel Goleman, renowned for his work on emotional intelligence, identifies 6 distinct leadership styles based on his research. These styles are designed to help leaders adapt their approach to various situations and improve organizational performance. You are to identify and explain briefly any 3 of Goldman's leadership styles each. Identify and explain briefly any 3 of Goldman's leadership styles each, beginning from UEW.
So the first one is self-awareness. This is where in emotional intelligence, you need to be aware of yourself, your likes and then your dislikes, and that will help you to relate with other people in an organization. We also have empathy. That is being in the shoe of others, being considerate, and when you are talking to them, you constructive behavior in relating to others. And we also have self-regulation. So with the self-regulation, you have to make sure that you put yourself in the right way, that you will not go and then offend others.
That is not correct.
So
I'm not
So-
taking that.
So we'll look at the transactional leadership style, which deals with exchange.
I think you've been bailed out. You cannot give a different set of answers. Now you have your opportunity. You have your opportunity. Pentecost University.
Okay, so we have the transformation, which has to do with the individual being capable of composing himself with respect to the transformation of the other entities in the organization. Then we also have transaction, which has to do with exchange of ideas or exchange of behaviors in the organization.
That is also not correct. That is not correct. The leadership styles, according to Daniel Goleman, we have coercive or commanding leadership, authoritative leadership, affiliative, democratic, pace-setting, and coaching leadership. These are the 6 leadership styles, according to Daniel Coleman. Next set of questions, University of Education, Winneba. Currency revaluation and currency devaluation are concepts related to the adjustment of a country's currency value in the context of exchange rates. What is meant by currency revaluation and how does it differ from devaluation? Currency revaluation and currency devaluation are concepts that relate to the adjustment of a country's currency value in the context of exchange rates. What is meant by currency revaluation and how does it differ from devaluation?
So currency devaluation is a deliberate attempt of the government to actually knock off some of the zeros that are attached to currency in order to reduce the value of the currency in relation to other currencies, and that will help enhance the number of goods that can be bought. But the currency revaluation is about enhancing the value of the currency so that it will be able to fit with other trading currencies.
I'll accept that. Pentecost University, currency stabilization and currency manipulation are 2 distinct concepts related to managing a country's currency value. What is meant by currency stabilization and how does it differ from currency manipulation? Currency stabilization and currency manipulation are 2 distinct concepts related to managing a country's currency value. What is meant by currency stabilization and how does it differ from currency manipulation?
So for currency stabilization, is a strategy of putting all the policies in place in order to stabilize the currency in relation to the other currencies, that's the other foreign currencies. But with the current, in terms of stabilizing the economy, inflation, interest rate, and the rest, and then for the manipulation, it is the deliberate changing of, or the deliberate adjustment of the currency in order to be able to compare with other foreign currencies.
I'll accept that. So the key thing about currency manipulation is about the deliberate action by a government, yes, to influence the value of the currency for whatever purpose that they want to, and that is correct. Next set of question is a common preamble to the two of you. Common preamble. Loan classification based on the number of days overdue is a common practice used by financial institutions to categorize the credit quality and risk of loans. These classifications help in assessing the level of risk associated with each loan and determine the appropriate provisions or reserves needed. For each of the following loan classifications or categories, identify the period within which the classification holds, that is the lower and upper bounds, based on the Bank of Ghana's directives and the percentage of loan provision or bad debt provision that is required. Please, did you get the question? For each of the following loan categories that I'm going to mention to you, identify the period within which the classification holds. There is a lower bound and an upper bound. That is the number of days. The minimum number of days and then the maximum number of days, based on the Bank of Ghana's directives, and indicate the percentage of provision that is required for that classification. Please, is that clear? Beginning with the University of Education, Winneba. UEW, yours is OLEM. Other loans especially mentioned. OLEM, what is the period and what is the percentage of provision that need to be made?
So for the percentage, we have 10 to 15%, and then for the time period, it must not elapse above 6 months.
I asked for this. I give him months, but it's, I'll give you 1 out of 3. So I'll explain why I give you 1 out of 3. Now, Pentecost University, yours is doubtful loan. What is the period and what is the percentage of loan provision required?
So for the percentage, you have the range of 20%, and then the number of days is 30 days.
That is not correct. You've been bailed out. All right. You want to attempt the bonus? Okay, attempt the bonus.
So we have 90 days, and then the percentage is 5%.
No, that is not correct. We have OLEM. OLEM is between 30 to 90 days. When the loan is not performing, what we call non-performing loan, between 30 to 90 days, we classify it as OLEM. Other loans especially mentioned. And the provision is 10%. You said 10 to 15%. That is why I gave you the 1 mark. For you, yours was doubtful. Doubtful is where the loan is between 180 to 360 days. And the percentage is 50% of the loan is classified, or the provision is 50%. I hope that is clear. For the next set of questions, we begin with you, Pentecost University. Pentecost University, common preamble to the two of you. The big 5 personality traits, also known as the 5-factor model, are a widely recognized framework for understanding human personality. These traits describe broad domains of personality that encompasses a range of behaviors and attitudes. You are to identify and explain briefly any 2 of the big 5 personality traits each. Identify and explain briefly any 2 of the big 5 personality traits, beginning with you, Pentecost University. You've exhausted your chance. Now your chance, UEW.
So the big 5 personality traits. First, we have the openness to experience, and this is characterized by the person who is who likes to explore new ideas, who loves adventure, and we also have conscientiousness. This is characterized by a behavior of a person who is well organized and very meticulous.
Yes, that is correct. Next set of questions, still beginning with you, Pentecost University. Knowledge management is a process of capturing, storing, and sharing the knowledge and experience of employees to increase the workforce's overall knowledge, improve productivity, and retain critical information. There are 7 types of knowledge that may be found in organizations. You have to explain the difference between the following types of knowledge. Please, I hope we get that. You get a preamble. Now, Pentecost, yours is tacit knowledge and implicit knowledge. Tacit knowledge and implicit knowledge.
Okay, so with the tacit knowledge, it is very difficult to be transferred. And then with the implicit knowledge, it can be transferred or can be learned. It can be taught and learned.
Can you come again?
Okay, so with the tacit knowledge, it is that one which is acquired, and that one is very difficult to be transferred, or it is very difficult to be taught, and then it is very difficult to be taught and learned.
How is it acquired? All knowledges are acquired. So how is this acquired?
It is ideally inherent.
Two out of 3. UEW, declarative knowledge and procedural knowledge. Declarative knowledge and procedural knowledge.
So with the procedural knowledge, this is the knowledge that the person has about how to get a certain thing done, or the procedures that one needs to follow. For instance, if you buy a fan, maybe the instructions or the manual, the procedures that you have to follow to get something done. And then the declarative knowledge, it is the knowledge that you know about the thing, and then how to, it's more of how you get the thing done.
All right, so the declarative knowledge is, the knowledge that you will be able to declare something and able to give a clear description about an activity or.
2 out of 3. Declarative knowledge is factual. For instance, if you say Accra is the capital of Ghana, that is a fact, and that is a declarative knowledge. I hope that is clear. Yes, so there are knowledge, is knowledge that, factual knowledge that can be stated or declared, while procedural is what you explain, the processes or the procedure for something. Last set of questions for this round, still beginning with Pentecost University. One of the constraints of information to include in general purpose financial statement is a cost-benefit analysis. Financial reporting imposes costs on both the preparers and users, as well as confers certain benefits to them. Pentecost University, you have to identify 3 financial reporting costs to preparers of financial information. Financial reporting cost to the preparers of financial information.
Okay, so with the cost associated to the financial information with respect to the preparers of the financial information, we have the historical cost, which has to do with the, okay, so we have the historical costs. We also have the data gathering costs, and we also have the presentation costs.
2 out of 3. The cost of collection and processing, that is the data gathering, I'll give you that. And the cost of verifying and presenting, that's the data presentation, I'll give you that as well. But there's nothing like historical cost involved. Now to you, University of Education Winneba, identify 3 financial reporting costs to the users of financial reporting. 3 financial reporting costs to the users of the financial reports.
So the first one is cost of getting the information from the source that it is. Maybe if it is internet, the cost that you have to incur to get the cost. And then we also have cost of interpreting. For instance, if you get a financial statement and you actually don't understand, you need to get someone who understands this and interpret it to you, and you need to pay that person as well. And we also have translation cost or cost of consultation.
2 out of 3. The cost of analysis and interpretation is correct. The cost of obtaining the information is correct. Then there's also the cost of taking a wrong decision because based on incomplete information. Okay, so on that note, we come to the end of round 1. Ladies and gentlemen, the contest is between the University of Education Winneba and the Pentecost University. A place at the semi-final is at stake. Already we have 3 schools in the semi-final. One of these 2 will join them. At the end of round 1, whilst we wait for the scores, we are reminded that this is still the Tertiary Business Science Challenge. It is brought to us by Graphic Business in partnership with ICAG and GTEC. Our media partners are TV3, Daily Graphic, and Graphic Online. Our sponsors, MTN Ghana, PwC, Ghana National Association of Teachers, Glyco Life, CompuGhana, and Gwal Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of round 1, the Pentecost University had 10 points. University of Education Winneba had 14 points. We are going into round 2, which will involve calculations. Each of you have the opportunity of attempting 7 major questions. You are free to use your calculators. You have 30 seconds to give an answer if it's a major question. For a bonus, you have 5 seconds to give an answer. 2 attempts only at a major question, 1 attempt at a bonus. Please, are we ready? We are beginning this round from Pentecost University. Company L entered into a contract to deliver goods to Company M for 300,000 cedis. Company M breached the contract, and Company L finds another buyer willing to pay 280,000 for the goods. Company L's costs were 250,000. Calculate the damages after mitigation. I take it again. Company L entered into a contract to deliver goods to Company M for 300,000 cedis. Company M breaches the contract, and Company L finds another buyer willing to pay 280,000 for the goods. Company L's costs were 250,000. Calculate the damages after mitigation.
So we have 20,000.
Yes, 20,000. UEW. Company C contracts to deliver software services to Company D for 500,000 cedis. Company D breaches the contract, and Company C mitigates its damages by reselling the services to another client for 480,000 cedis. Company C's costs incurred were 100,000 cedis. Calculate the damages after mitigation. Company C contracts to deliver software service to Company D for 500,000. Company D breaches the contract, and Company C mitigates its damages by reselling the services to another client for 480,000 cedis. Company C's costs incurred were 100,000. Calculate the damages after mitigation.
So 20,000 Ghana cedis.
Yes, that is correct. Pentecost University. Calculate material mix variance for X, Y, and the total variance based on actual and standard mix as follows. The standard mix, 40% material X, 60% material Y. Actual mix, 35% material X, 65% material Y. The total materials used were 10,000 units. And the standard cost per unit for material X is 5 cedis and Y is 8 cedis. I take it again. Calculate the material mix variance for X, Y, and the total variance based on actual and standard mix. The standard mix is 40% for material X, 60% material Y. Actual mix, 35% material X, 65% material Y. Total materials used, 10,000 units. And the standard cost per unit, X is 5 cedis, Y is 8 cedis.
$40,000. So 40,000 for X, and then and then 4,000 for Y.
One out of three. I asked for three things. One of the figures, two figures you gave is correct, the other is wrong. To you, University of Education Winneba, calculate material mix variance for A, B, and the total variance based on actual and standard mix. The standard mix is 55% A of material A and 45% material B. Actual mix, 30% material A, 70% material B. Total materials used, 15,000 units. The standard cost per unit, material A is 8 cedis, B is 12 cedis. I take it again. Calculate the material mix variance for A, B, and the total variance based on actual and standard mix. Standard mix is 55% material A, 45% material B. Actual mix is 30% material A, 70% material B. The total materials used is 15,000 units, and the standard cost per unit for material A is 8 cedis, B is 12 cedis.
So the variance is 30,000, and then the standard mix is 8,250 for A, and then the B is 6,750.
You still have another chance.
So the material mix variance is 36,000, and then the total cost is 60,000.
That is not correct. None of them is correct. We've been bailed out. Bonus for Pentecost University.
We have A to be 6,750, and then B to be negative 3,750, and the total variance to be 3,000.
No, I won't take that. 30,000, negative 30,000, 45,000, then the total mix is 15,000. Next set of questions. Still with you, Pentecost University. From the following expenditure incurred by the consolidated fund for the 2022 financial year, compute the expenditure figure for use of goods and services in accordance with the gift miss chart of accounts. Street naming expenses 4,000, audit fees 1,000, superannuation 3,000, exchange differences 5,000. Feeding grants 1,000, scholarship and bursaries 1,000, assembly member sitting allowance 500. I take it again. From the following expenditure incurred by the consolidated fund for the 2022 financial year, compute the expenditure for use of goods and services. The expenditure items: street naming expenses 4,000, audit fees 1,000, superannuation 3,000, exchange difference 500. Feeding grant 1,000, scholarship and bursaries 1,000, assembly member sitting allowance 500. Calculate the figure for use of goods and services.
So we have 7,500.
No, that is not correct. You have one other chance.
37,500.
That is also not correct. You've exhausted your chances. Bonus for University of Education Winneba.
9,500.
No, please, that is not correct. The answer is 2,000. I'll explain why. Now your major question, UEW. From the following expenditure incurred by the consolidated fund, compute the expenditure figure for compensation of employees in accordance with the GIFMIS chart of accounts. Your expenditure items: scholarship and bursaries, 1,000. Staff welfare expenses, 500. Assembly member sitting allowance, 500. Refund of medical expenses, 3,500. Superannuation, 1,200. Feeding grant, 800. Workmen compensation, 1,000. I take it again. From the following expenditure items of the consolidated fund, compute the figure for compensation of employees in accordance with the GIFMIS chart of accounts. Scholarship and bursaries, 1,000. Staff welfare expenses, 500. Assembly member sitting allowance, 500. Refund of medical expenses, 3,500. Superannuation, 1,002. Feeding grants, 800. Workmen compensation, 1,000.
$2,000 Ghana cedis.
No, please. You have one other chance.
3,900.
It is also not correct. Bonus for Pentecost University.
5,000.
No, it is 1,200. Only superannuation relates to compensation. Scholarship and bursary, staff welfare, assembly members' allowances, goods and services, refund of medical expenses is social benefit, superannuation is compensation, feeding grant is goods and services. No, it's also social benefit. Workmen compensation is social benefit. Now yours was 2,000, and the items there are audit fees, and then we have assembly member sitting allowance as well as exchange differences. They are the only ones that relate to goods and services. I hope that is clear. Street naming expenses is not part. Superannuation is compensation. Feeding grant is not part. Scholarship and bursaries is also not part. Next set of questions, still beginning with you, Pentecost University. Kelasina Limited is a VAT-registered textile manufacturing company approved by the Ministry for Trade and Industry. The company made an all-inclusive tax payable of 94,340 for the month of May 2024. Determine the taxes charged in respect of GET Fund levy, COVID-19 levy, and VAT. Kelasina Limited is a VAT-registered textile manufacturing company approved by the Ministry responsible for Trade and Industry. The company made an all-inclusive tax payable of 94,340 for the month of May 2024. Determine the taxes charged in respect of GET Fund levy, COVID-19 levy, and VAT.
So we have the COVID levy to be 790.78. We have the VAT to be 1,779.25, and then we have the GET Fund, and then the other the National Health Recovery levy to be 1,976.94. The two of them.
That is not correct. You've been bailed out. Bonus for UEW.
Fund we have 1934.78. COVID-19 we have 1934.7, and we have COVID-19 773.91, and then the VAT is 12,305.22.
Yes. Now your major question, UEW. Eyakumsin Limited is a VAT-registered textile manufacturing company approved by the ministry responsible for trade and industry. The company made an all-inclusive tax payable of 725,000 cedis for the month of May 2024, determined the taxes charged in respect of GET Fund levy, COVID-19 levy, and VAT. Eya Kumsin Limited is a VAT-registered textile manufacturing company approved by the Ministry responsible for Trade and Industry. The company made an all-inclusive tax payable of 725,000 for the month of May 2024, determined the taxes charged in respect of GET Fund levy, COVID-19 levy, and VAT.
We have 14868.74. COVID-19 we have 5947.5, and then the VAT we have 94565.22.
Yes, that is correct. For the next set of questions, we begin with you, University of Education, Winneba. We are beginning with you. Glyco Limited's revenue function is R equals 100 kilo minus 0.5 kilo squared, where kilo is the quantity sold. Determine the quantity that maximizes revenue and calculate the maximum revenue. Glyco Limited's revenue function is R equals 100 kilo minus 0.5 kilo squared, where kilo is the quantity sold. Determine the quantity that maximizes revenue and calculate the maximum revenue.
So the quantity that maximizes revenue is 5,000. That the total revenue is 5,000, and then the quantity that maximizes revenue is 10.
2 out of 3. One of the figures is correct, the other is wrong. I'll explain which one is correct and which one is wrong. Now to you, Pentecost University. MTN Limited's revenue function is R equals 120 kilo minus 0.3 kilo squared, where kilo is the quantity sold. Determine the quantity that maximizes revenue and calculate the maximum revenue. MTN Limited's revenue function is R equals 120 kilo minus 0.3 kilo squared, where kilo is the quantity sold. Determine the quantity that maximizes revenue and calculate the maximum revenue.
So we have the quantity to be 6, and then the maximum revenue to be 709.2.
That is not correct. You still have one chance. You've been bailed out. Bonus for UEW.
So we have the quantity that maximizes revenue to be 200, and then the total revenue to be 12,000 Ghana cedis.
Yes, that is correct. So why did you get your marginal revenue wrong earlier on? It was supposed to be 100, you said 10. Yes. Next set of questions, still beginning with you, University of Education, Winneba. Calculate the 95% one-day value at risk for a portfolio with a current value of 10 million cedis and a standard deviation of returns of 100,000. The Z-score at 95% confidence level is 1.645. I take it again. Calculate the 95% one-day value at risk for a portfolio with a current value of 10 million cedis and a standard deviation of returns of 100,000 cedis. The Z-score at 95% confidence level is 1.645.
So we have minus 200.
That is not correct. You have one other chance.
So we have 1664.
No, it is not 1664. Bonus for you, Pentecost University. Okay, so I'll give the answer later. Now your major question, Pentecost University. Calculate the 5% value at risk for a portfolio with a current value of 1 million cedis and a standard deviation of 50,000. The Z-score at 95% confidence level is 1.645. Calculate the 5% value at risk for a portfolio with a current value of 1 million cedis and a standard deviation of 50,000. The standard score at 95% confidence level is 1.65, 1.645. No, please, that is not correct. You have one other chance.
0.695.
That is also not correct. Bonus for the University of Education, Winneba.
So we have minus 658.
No, it is 82,250. And your major question, 164,500. Simply, the value at risk is the Z-score multiplied by the standard deviation. The Z-score just multiplied by the standard deviation. And both figures were presented to you. Last set of questions for this round. Last set of questions, beginning with you, University of Education, Winneba. CompuGhana hedges 1 million euros with a forward contract at a rate of $1 to 0.9 euro. If the spot rate at maturity is $1 to 0.85 euro, calculate the hedging cost or gain. CompuGhana hedges 1 million euro with a forward contract at a rate of $1 equals 0.9 euro. If the spot rate at maturity is $1 equals 0.85 euro, calculate the hedging cost or gain.
$0.58.
No.
So we have the game to be 0.05.
I'll take that as well. Bonus for you, Pentecost University.
50,000.
What?
50,000.
No, that is not correct. That is also not correct. I'll give the answer later. And now to you, Pentecost University, PwC hedges £2 million with a forward contract at a rate of $1 equals 0.8 pounds. If the spot rate at maturity is $1 equals 0.75 pounds, calculate the hedging cost or gain. PwC hedges £2 million with a forward contract at the rate of $1 equals 0.8 Great British pounds. If the spot rate at maturity is $1 equals 0.75 Great British pound, calculate the hedging cost or gain.
So we have 466,666.67.
Yes, that is correct. $166,666.67 is correct. On that note, we come to the end of round 2, ladies and gentlemen. Please show them some love. The contest is between Pentecost University and the University of Education Winneba. A place at the semi-final is at stake. One of these two schools will join the University of Cape Coast, University of Ghana, and the University for Development Studies at the semi-final stage. The program is brought to us by Graphic Business in partnership with the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana and the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. At the end of round 2, the scores. Pentecost University had 7 points. University of Education had 10 points. We are going into round 3, which is the business case of the day. In this round, both schools will be given a common problem, and they are supposed to work as a team and come out with one solution. This solution will be compared with what we have and marks awarded out of 10. They will have 10 minutes within which to provide their solution. Please, you may pick up your problem for us to go through together. It is a very short one. All right, so we take it together. You are to explain the waterfall model and agile methodology in information systems development, and then enumerate 3 advantages of each approach and 3 disadvantages of each approach. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a very short business case of the day. You may start working now. You have 10 minutes to provide an answer.
The very essence of leadership is to become more. At ICAG, we stand for leadership and we are inspired to offer more. Leadership stands up to be answerable. We use our national and international conferences to tell our story and hold ourselves to high global benchmarks. Leadership is where brilliance is rewarded. We reward brilliance with scholarships for postgraduate students. Leadership thrives on fresh ideas. Our tertiary business sense challenge makes you see business from a different perspective. Leadership is not about today. We keep an eye on tomorrow by providing internships in high-ranked institutions to inspire the next generation of business leaders. Leadership is acquiring ATSWA, CA Professional, Post-Chartered Diploma from ICAG. ICAG, where leaders become more. The very essence of leadership is to become more. At ICAG, we stand for leadership and we are inspired to offer more. Leadership stands up to be answerable. We use our national and international conferences to tell our story and hold ourselves to high global benchmarks. Leadership is where brilliance is rewarded. We reward brilliance with scholarships for postgraduate students. Leadership thrives on fresh ideas. Our tertiary business sense challenge makes you see business from a different perspective. Leadership is not about today. We keep an eye on tomorrow by providing internships in high-ranked institutions to inspire the next generation of business leaders. Leadership is acquiring ATSWA, CA Professional, Post-Chartered Diploma from ICAG. ICAG, where leaders become more. Adding to your options, knowing that quality and standard remains intact and our content, which is accepted as truth and accuracy every day, is accessible on the go. Access your favorite daily graphic and our weeklies The Mirror, Graphic Business, Graphic Showbiz, Junior Graphic, and Graphic Sports on Graphic News Plus app. It's the digital replicas of our work. Download Graphic News Plus app on the Google Play Store, Apple App Store, and available on www.graphicnewsplus.com as you remain abreast of and keep pace with on-the-minute news updates on the go. Home sweet home. Welcome family and friends. Choose the bundle that best works for you from as low as 10 Ghana cedis weekly for unlimited access to all publications. Graphic, truth and accuracy every day. Information is a great source of power. Adding to your options, knowing that quality and standard remains intact and our content, which is accepted as truth and accuracy every day, is accessible on the go. Access your favorite daily graphic and our weeklies The Mirror, Graphic Business, Graphic Showbiz, Junior Graphic, and Graphic Sports on Graphic News Plus app. It's the digital replicas of our work. Download Graphic News Plus app on the Google Play Store, Apple App Store, and available on www.graphicnewsplus.com as you remain abreast of and keep pace with on-the-minute news updates on the go. Home sweet home. Welcome family and friends. Choose the bundle that best works for you from as low as 10 Ghana cedis weekly for unlimited access to all publications. Graphic, truth and accuracy every day. The very essence of leadership is to become more. At ICAG, we stand for leadership and we are inspired to offer more. Leadership stands up to be answerable. We use our national and international conferences to tell our story and hold ourselves to high global benchmarks. Leadership is where brilliance is rewarded. We reward brilliance with scholarships for postgraduate students. Leadership thrives on fresh ideas. Our Tertiary Business Sense Challenge makes you see business from a different perspective. Leadership is not about today. We keep an eye on tomorrow by providing internships in high-ranked institutions to inspire the next generation of business leaders. Leadership is acquiring ATSWA, CA Professional, Post-Chartered Diploma from ICAG. ICAG, where leaders become more. Information is a great source of power. Adding to your options, knowing that quality and standard remains intact and our content, which is accepted as truth and accuracy every day, is accessible on the go. Access your favorite daily graphic and our weeklies The Mirror, Graphic Business, Graphic Showbiz, Junior Graphic, and Graphic Sports on Graphic News Plus app. It's the digital replicas of our work.
All right, please stop work and submit whatever you have done.
The very essence of leadership is to become more. At ICAG, we stand for leadership and we are inspired to offer more. Leadership stands up to be answerable. We use our national and international conferences to tell our story and hold ourselves to high global benchmarks. Leadership is where brilliance is rewarded. We reward brilliance with scholarships for postgraduate students. Leadership thrives on fresh ideas. Our Tertiary Business Sense Challenge makes you see business from a different perspective. Leadership is not about today. We keep an eye on tomorrow by providing internships in high-ranked institutions to inspire the next generation of business leaders. Leadership is acquiring ATSWA, CA Professional, Post-Chartered Diploma from ICAG. ICAG, where leaders become more. The very essence of leadership is to become more. At ICAG, we stand for leadership and we are inspired to offer more. Leadership stands up to be answerable. We use our national and international conferences to tell our story and hold ourselves to high global benchmarks. Leadership is where brilliance is rewarded. We reward brilliance with scholarships for postgraduate students. Leadership thrives on fresh ideas. Our Tertiary Business Sense Challenge makes you see business from a different perspective. Leadership is not about today. We keep an eye on tomorrow by providing internships in high-ranked institutions to inspire the next generation of business leaders. Leadership is acquiring ATSWA, CA Professional, Post-Chartered Diploma from ICAG. ICAG, where leaders become more. Great source of power, adding to your options, knowing that quality and standard remains intact, and our content, which is accepted as truth and accuracy every day, is accessible on the go. Access your favorite daily graphic and our weeklies, The Mirror, Graphic Business, Graphic Showbiz, Junior Graphic, and Graphic Sports on Graphic News Plus app. It's the digital replicas of our work. Download Graphic News Plus app on the Google Play Store, Apple App Store.
Thank you very much. So, we are in round 3 of the contest between University of Education Winneba and Pentecost University. We gave the two schools a problem on software development or information systems development. Two methodologies, waterfall model and the agile methodology and information system development. They were to explain what those two concepts meant and to also provide 3 advantages and 3 disadvantages of each of the two methods. Essentially, let's look at what we were expecting. Now, waterfall model, it is a sequential or linear approach to software development. What you do is that the software development process goes through a number of steps from distinct phases, which each of it requiring that you go through a number of processes like gathering information, or the requirement, design, implementation, testing, deployment, and maintenance. And each of these phases must be completed before you move on to the next. So it is a step-by-step approach to developing a software, information software. Agile methodology, on the other hand, is an iterative and incremental approach to software development. It is quite similar to the prototype in a bit of way, but here you emphasize flexibility, you get collaboration of customers, you get their feedback, and then there's rapid delivery of small functional increment. So you develop it and then you improve it as and when you go along. It allows changes to requirement even in later stages of the development process and focuses on continuous feedback from users. Now, I'll be able to explain either of these 2 marks each. Then when we come to the advantages, waterfall, the advantages include it is a structured approach. So you don't get it wrong. There's a linear structure where each phase comes after the next. You know when to complete the one and then you move on to the next. There's also a bit of documentation. And this makes it easier to understand the process or the flow of the project, and therefore decisions can be made at each stage. And all of those are documented for future reference. There are also clear milestones or steps that need to be taken. So the phases such as the design, development, and testing are easily identifiable, and this makes it easy for you to track wherever you are. It is simple to manage and also suitable for projects that has well-defined requirements and little expected usage. There are other advantages that you can add on, and those may be accepted based on the how they are reasonable. The disadvantages, it is inflexible. Because you move from one stage to the other, normally they are difficult and costly to implement. Okay, so there's no flexibility allowed because of the way it is. Late testing. So testing can only happen after the development phase. So you cannot test initially to see where there are issues. You have to develop before you can test. And this can result in you discovering issues later, by which time it may be too late in the process. There's also delayed user feedback because you need to develop it before you get end users to make inputs. The user feedback may not come at the point where it is needed, and that could even affect the final output that comes out. It poses high risks for long projects where it means that it may take a lot of time to be completed. The advantage for agile methodology, agile is quite flexible and adaptable, because it allows you to make changes in requirement because of the customer feedback. There's a continuous feedback. There's early and continuous delivery of the work, but as and when you finish, customers see or users see progress and they're able to make input. You're able to manage the risks of any failure that may arise because you identify the risks early and you curtail it. Team collaboration, agile methodology promotes team work and accountability. The disadvantages, unlike the waterfall model, it lacks documentation. There's also a scope creep because of its flexibility. Agile can sometimes lead to uncontrolled changes. Almost every time you may need to make changes, and if you don't take care, you wouldn't know. It will be quite different from what you started with. It can also be difficult to predict and requires active user involvement. Now, there are 3 advantages for 1.5, 3 disadvantages for 1.5. That should give us 6 in all. Let's look at what our people did, beginning with Pentecost University. Waterfall model. This is the explanation they gave. Waterfall model refers to the model where there's no sorting of data or information. That is, all data received are processed and presented as they are. I'm not sure what they were explaining, so I'm not going to give any marks there. Advantages. Enough information or depth of information. I'll assume that that relates to documentation, so maybe fine. I'll give that 0.5. And then is it less time consuming? That is not true with waterfall. It can be time consuming in the end. Then cost. They made a mention of cost. I will accept that. So for the advantage, they got 1. Disadvantages. They wrote garbage in, garbage out. I don't know what that means. I want to assume that it refers to the non-flexibility of that approach. So maybe I'll accept that. Information might not be reliable. I won't accept that. And then information overload. Because of documentation, sometimes you can have a lot of information that could be an overload. So that is also another 1 point. Agile methodology. You said it's an approach in information system development where information is analyzed to reduce unnecessary or irrelevant data or information. I won't accept that. Advantages. It helps to reduce errors, ensuring accuracy of information. Maybe 0.5. It helps reduce cost. That's another 0.5. But you said it makes information reliable and relevant. I don't know how, so I cannot accept that. Disadvantages. Time consuming. Yes. 0.5. Rigid. No. Agile is not rigid. It is very flexible. And then the last part is relevant information may be scrubbed off. That is also fine. So 1. For your effort, you get 4 out of 10. University of Education, Winneba. Waterfall model. You said it's a sequential software development process where the developer uses a step-by-step approach, moves from one step to the other. In this approach, the continuation of the next step depends on the success of the previous one. That is correct. That is 2 points. Agile methodology. Agile information system is a development of information system laying emphasis on flexibility and adaptability. In this approach to system development, the steps involved are not rigid and it evolves over time to fit the current conditions at hand. That is correct. In terms of the advantages, waterfall, you said it makes complex tasks more easy to complete. That is correct. Breaking down tasks sequentially helps you identify any error or problem early and helps you correct them at an early stage. That is correct. It is also much easier to develop. So you have 1.5 for the advantages. Disadvantages, you said it is time consuming, it is costly to undertake, it requires high level of expertise. That is also correct. So 3 points. Now, agile methodology, advantages. It is more flexible. It is more flexible. It is a more flexible and meets variety of system needs. Yes. It is more adaptable to a lot of system requirements. Yes. So that is 1 point. You provided only 2. In terms of the disadvantages, you indicated that it is time consuming. Yes. It does not use step-by-step approach, making concurrent corrections of errors difficult. That is also fine. You indicated that it is less costly. It is less very costly to develop. I don't know what you meant by that. Less very costly. That looks like they are contradicting, so I can't accept that. And then you also indicated, but of course you provided 4 there. So the last one is a high level of expertise needed to develop. Yes, high level of expertise for agile methodology. That is fine. So that's also 1.5. So when we add the 1 to 1.5, this is 2.5 plus the other ones of 7. That should be 9.5 out of 10. So at the end of round 3, Pentecost University had 4 points, UW had 9.5 out of 10. We are going into round 4. Any changes? Please go ahead if you want to make any changes at this point. Gentlemen, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, who do we have from UEW?
Felix Blay, Bachelor of Science Accounting, level 300.
Okay. And from Pentecost University?
Emmanuel McCarthy, Logistics and Supply Chain Management, level 400.
You are welcome, Emmanuel. Ladies and gentlemen, round 4A, graphic business segment. In this round, I'm going to ask them questions on some stories that appeared in the graphic business newspaper, the 3rd and 10th editions of that newspaper. Each of you will attempt 7 major questions. For a major question, you have 10 seconds to give an answer for 3 points. For a bonus question, you have 5 seconds to give an answer for 1 point. 2 attempts only at a major question, 1 attempt at a bonus. Please, are we ready? If you are ready, we begin this round from the University of Education, Winneba. But this is a common preamble to both schools. Common preamble. The president of the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, Dr. Daniel Kasati, was the main speaker at the 2-day National Sales Leaders Conference held in Accra. You have to identify any one key highlight of his speech at the conference. Identify any one of the key highlights of his speech at the conference each, beginning with UEW.
So Daniel Kasati highlighted that Ghana is a fertile ground for all businesses due to its expanding economy and growth potential.
Yes, correct. Pentecost University.
Competence leadership.
No, it is not part of the issues that he mentioned. It's not part of the issues that he mentioned. There cannot be a bonus here, of course. Other issues that he mentioned is that the Ghanaian market is unique with its peculiarities and challenges. Foreign models of sales leadership may not translate entirely. Therefore, nurturing homegrown talent is paramount. He also mentioned that to achieve sustained organizational revenue growth, the country must invest in building a formidable army of sales professionals. A competent sales team was not merely a department, but the vanguard driving economic progress. Next set of questions, beginning with you, UEW. According to the editor of the Graphic Business newspaper, listing some of the state-owned enterprises on the Ghana Stock Exchange in their current financially bleeding state will deter investors. The graphic business advocates a two-pronged approach that will ensure that state-owned enterprises are fast-tracked to the local base. You have to identify the approaches that he mentioned, that the editor mentioned in the article. According to the editor of the Graphic Business newspaper, listing some of the state-owned enterprises on the Ghana Stock Exchange in their current financially bleeding states will deter investors. The graphic business is therefore advocating for a two-pronged approach that will ensure that they are fast-tracked onto the local base. You have to identify the two approaches mentioned.
First, appointing competent leaders and also provision of financial resources.
Yes, that is correct. Pentecost University. The rise of digital assets in Africa marks a significant shift in the continent's financial landscape, offering both promising opportunities and inherent risks. In the article on future of cryptocurrencies and growing importance of ETFs in Africa, crypto ETFs have been identified as opportunities for the growth of cryptocurrencies across the companies. Identify 2 benefits of crypto ETFs as mentioned in the article. Identify 2 benefits of crypto ETFs as mentioned in the article.
So, according to the article, some countries use it as a hedge to solve their currency inflation. That's Nigeria, and then Ghana is also using it to solve their liquidity challenges.
I'll give you 2 out of 3. The fact that crypto offers diversified exposure to digital assets, that is why I'm giving. But you were answering a different question. But the fact that you mentioned hedging, I'll give you that. Next set of questions. Common preamble to the 2 of you. Despite the lower half-year mobilization performance, annual total revenue and grants have been revised upwards. In the article on 2024 mid-year budget review, has the IMF program improved a lot? A number of fiscal policy revenue initiatives are proposed in the budget. You are to identify any 2 of these fiscal policy revenue initiatives each. Identify any 2 fiscal policy revenue initiatives as captured in the mid-year budget review by the government, beginning with you, UEW.
So we have the first one is digital tax solution. This is where they would deploy simplified tax solutions to the modified tax scheme to broaden the tax base. And then they will also introduce the electronic bookkeeping system and onboard about or more than 2,000 people on board so that the experience and then compliance will be improved. The second measure is monitoring and assistance, where MOFEP, that is Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning, will help GRA to monitor their tax system, clear the books, and then also onboard more people to improve the experience and compliance.
Yes, that is correct. Pentecost University.
First one, domestic debt restructuring.
No, there's nothing like domestic debt restructuring. I cannot take that. There cannot be a bonus here as well. Other things mentioned: data sharing enhancement, integrated property tax system, revenue mobilization. Those were the key issues that were mentioned aside the ones that were mentioned by UEW. Next set of questions. Common preamble to the 2 of you, still beginning with UEW. Affordable housing refers to housing that is within the financial reach of the general population. Ghana has previously sought to provide affordable housing through various government-led initiatives and partnerships with private developers. While Ghana has made effort to address affordable housing challenges in the past, significant gaps remain. You are to identify any 3 lessons each that Ghana can learn from other nations as listed in the article on exploring affordable housing in Ghana. Identify any 3 lessons each that Ghana can learn from other nations as stated in the article on exploring affordable housing in Ghana, beginning with UEW.
So Ghana can adopt the scheme of cooperative housing that is from Canada, and then they can also look at providing affordable housing through mixed funding. That is, they will liaise with the private sector and then provide affordable housing so that the those the citizens can also afford. Those who cannot afford by themselves, they can also look at that of the Mihankasa Mihamvida by that of the Brazil, where they look at people who by themselves cannot afford that. That is the population, the vulnerable population, such as the minority and then the homeless and then the single mothers. They can look at all these initiatives and then do same, so that Ghana can also initiate the government-led initiatives.
Yes, that is correct. And you, Pentecost University.
So below are some of the lessons Ghana can learn. The very first one, offering financial advices to house owners or individuals who want to own the house, explaining to them the cost that involves in acquiring land and then building or constructing a house. Secondly, house builders or developers should adopt to technologies that will help reduce construction costs. And then last one is support private developers to develop affordable houses to everybody at every sectors.
Yes, that is correct. For our next set of questions, we begin with Pentecost University. Common preamble to the two of you, beginning with Pentecost University. The recent surge in maize prices, which has seen an 80% increase in just 8 months, is a stark reminder of the vulnerability of Ghana's food security efforts. In the editorial of 10th September, Graphic Business takes a look at one of Ghana's flagship programs in the agri sector, Planting for Food and Jobs. I hope we get a preamble. Now, Pentecost University, mention any 3 recommendations made in the article for improving upon the general agriculture problem of the country. 3 recommendations for improving upon the general agriculture problem of the country.
All right, so general recommendation, we have to expand the policy to include more crops and then more farmers. Invest in agricultural research to increase yield and then resilience. Also invest in infrastructure development.
I'll give you 1 out of 3. University of Education Winneba, you are to mention any 3 recommendations made in the article for improving upon the PFJ program, the Planting for Food and Jobs program. 3 recommendations made for improving upon the PFJ program.
So according to the graphic business, they have to try and then liaise with the public sector to solve the challenges that are emerging. And then they have to also look at expanding the reach of the scheme to include more farmers. The earlier one was, so according to them, it was not so wide. So they have to include more farmers and then more crops. Then they can also look at investing in agriculture research and development, where they can now broaden the program to solve the emerging issues as far as the agricultural sector is concerned.
Yes, that is correct. What do you say? So 2 sets of recommendations were made. One for the agri sector specifically, the other for the PFJ program. I hope you get it. So what you mentioned, some of those that you mentioned relates to the PFJ program. I asked you to mention to the agri sector. I hope you get that. But you started by mentioning the fact that they should expand the program to include, that is a PFJ program. I wasn't talking about the PFJ. I hope you get the difference. Yes, there are differences in the questions. Next set of questions. Still with you, Pentecost University. According to the monetary policy report undertaken by the Research Department of the Bank of Ghana for the first half of the year, how many job adverts were recorded in June 2023, June 2024, and the differences in those figures? According to the monetary policy report undertaken by the Research Department of the Bank of Ghana for the first half of the year, how many job adverts were recorded in June 2023, June 2024, and the difference in those figures?
So in June 2023, it's 16,866. And then in June 2024, it's 17,274. The difference is 15 million. 50. The percentage is 2.4%.
I won't take that. You've been bailed out. Bonus for the Investor of Education.
June 2023 is 2,968. June 2024 is 2,993. The difference between them is 25.
Yes. Now to you, Investor of Education. According to the same report, what was the cumulative number of job adverts in the first half of 2023, 2024, and the differences in those two figures? What was the cumulative number of job adverts in the first half of 2023, 2024, and the difference between the two figures?
So 2023 we have 17,278. 2024 it reduced to 16,866, and then the difference is 412.
Yes. So you get the difference. Yes. One related to just the month of June, the other was a cumulative period. And now our last set of questions for this round. Last set of questions, common preamble to the two of you. According to the same monetary policy report undertaken by the Research Department of the Bank of Ghana, the bank's updated Real Composite Index of Economic Activity recorded an annual growth of 3.3% in May 2024, compared to a contraction of 3.7% observed for the same period in 2023. Identify any three key growth drivers of the index over the period as indicated in the report each. So each of you should identify any three key growth drivers of the index over the period, beginning with you, Pentecost University.
1, port activities. 2, cement sales. And then 3, export activities.
Yes, that is correct. UEW.
We have domestic VAT. We have contribution from the Senate to the private sector. And we also have export activities and then import activities.
Export has been mentioned, so be clear on what you want to say.
We have import activities, domestic VAT, and a contribution from the Senate.
Yes, import is correct. Yes, so SNATE contributions from the private sector, imports, port activities, cement sales, exports, passenger arrivals, and domestic VAT. On that note, we come to the end of round 4A. Ladies and gentlemen, the contest is between the University of Education Winneba and the Pentecost University. A place at the semi-final is at stake. We have done 4 rounds so far. We have 2 more to go. Ladies and gentlemen, the program is streaming live on Facebook as well as on YouTube. Do we have our scores for round 4A? At the end of round 4A, Pentecost University had 9 points. University of Education Winneba had 22 points. We go on to round 4B, which is a true or false segment. In this round, I'm going to read out some statement to you. You have to indicate to me if the statement is true or false. If you get it correct, 2 points. If you get it wrong, -1. You have 10 seconds to give me an answer. You may decide not to answer, in which case it will be transferred to the other school under the same conditions. Each of you will attempt 7 major questions. Please, are we ready? UEW, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Pentecost, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
We are beginning this round from Pentecost University. Pentecost. All right. The key audit matter section in an audit report can be a substitute for expressing a modified opinion, true or false. The key audit matter section in an audit report can be a substitute for expressing a modified opinion, true or false.
True.
No. It's false. UEW. In audit reports, large transactions are necessarily key audit matters that need disclosure. True or false? In audit reports, large transactions are necessarily key audit matters that need disclosure. True or false?
It is false.
Yes, it's false. Pentecost University, internal failure costs occur after defective products are delivered to customers and include warranty and repair costs. True or false? Internal failure costs occur after defective products are delivered to customers and include warranty and repair costs. True or false?
False.
Yes, false. UEW, external failure costs are incurred when defects are found after products reach customers and can include returns and recalls. True or false? External failure costs are incurred when defects are found after products reach customers and can include returns and recalls. True or false?
It is true.
It's true, yes. Pentecost University, stage 2 of production begins at a level of output where the average product of the variable input is at a maximum and ends where the marginal product of the variable input is equal to 0. True or false? Stage 2 of production begins at a level of output where the average product of the variable input is at a maximum and ends where the marginal product of the variable input is equal to 0. True or false?
False.
No, that is not correct. UEW, stage 1 of production begins where the average product of the variable input is equal to the marginal product of the variable input. True or false? Stage 1 of production begins where the average product of the variable input is equal to the marginal product of the variable input. True or false?
It is false.
Yes, it's false. Pentecost University, modern portfolio theory emphasizes the benefit of diversification in reducing the total risk of a portfolio. True or false? Modern portfolio theory emphasizes the benefits of diversification in reducing the total risk of a portfolio. True or false?
True.
Yes, it's true. UEW, according to the arbitrage pricing theory, asset returns are explained by a single factor, typically the market return. True or false? According to the arbitrage pricing theory, asset returns are explained by a single factor, typically the market return. True or false?
It's false.
Yes, it's false. For our next set of questions, we begin with the University of Education, Winneba. UEW. Social loafing is a political tactic used by individuals to avoid accountability and responsibility within the organization. True or false? Social loafing is a political tactic used by individuals to avoid accountability and responsibility within the organization. True or false?
True.
No. Pentecost University. Information hoarding is a common political tactic used by individuals to gain power and control within organizations. True or false? Information hoarding is a common political tactic used by individuals to gain power and control within organizations. True or false?
True.
Yes, it's true. UEW. The most appropriate method for procuring technical services valued at 3 million cedis is a national competitive tendering. True or false? The most appropriate method for procuring technical services valued at 3 million cedis is a national competitive tendering. True or false?
It is false.
No, you are wrong. Pentecost University, the most appropriate method for procuring goods valued at 11 million cedis is a national competitive tendering. True or false? The most appropriate method for procuring goods valued at 11 million cedis is a national competitive tendering. True or false?
False.
Yes, it's false. And now the last set of questions for this round. Last set. UEW. Intermodal transportation uses multiple modes of transport, reducing flexibility in the supply chain. True or false? Intermodal transportation uses multiple modes of transport, reducing flexibility in the supply chain. True or false?
It is false.
Yes, it's false. And now the last question for this one goes to the Pentecost University. Cross-docking reduces warehousing costs by minimizing storage time and handling. True or false? Cross-docking reduces warehousing costs by minimizing storage time and handling. True or false?
False.
No, it's true. So no, you got that wrong. On that note, we come to the end of round 4B, ladies and gentlemen. This is the fourth quarterfinal contest. It is between the University of Education Winneba and the Pentecost University. The next quarterfinal contest will be between the SD Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies and the University for Energy and Natural Resources. The winner of this contest will progress to the semi-final stage. Will it be the Pentecost University or the University of Education Winneba? We wait scores for round 4B. At the end of round 4B, Pentecost University had 5 points. The University of Education Winneba had 8 points. We have one last round to go. That is the riddles. In this round, I'm going to give both schools a set of clues. Their duty is to tell me who or what I am referring to. They will have 10 seconds after ringing a bell to answer a question. But let me hear the bell from Pentecost University and that of UEW. Now, when you ring the bell, you have 10 seconds, like I said, to give an answer. Depending on the clue at which you give the right answer, you can get 5 points. That is answering correctly on the first clue. 4 points where you get it correct on the second clue, and then 3 points on any other clue thereafter. If you get it wrong, you can no longer partake in that riddle. And where there are further clues, I'll read them to the hearing of the remaining school. Please, are we ready? UEW, are you ready? Pentecost, are you ready? Riddle number 1. I am an anti-takeover strategy used to nullify takeover attempts. 2. While I seem reasonable, based on the principle of self-determination, I occupy a moral gray area because a company's management may not always act in the best interest of shareholders in acquisitions that benefit the latter and not the former. 3. I'm a slang term for measures taken by a company to fend off an unwanted or hostile takeover. Yes, Pentecost University.
90-man strategy.
No, please, that is not correct. I am a slang term for measures taken by a company to fend off an unwanted or hostile takeover attempts that are not pre-approved by management team of the target firm. My tactics differ based on the attack employed by the predator. Some of my most common tactics are golden parachute, macaroni defense, staggered board, and poison pill. Yes, University of Education Winneba.
The shark repellent.
Yes, shark repellent. They answered on the 4th clue 3 points. 3 points. Riddle number 2. I am a term used in auditing that refers to a level of confidence an auditor has in the accuracy and completeness of the information being reviewed. 2. I am one of the assurance levels recommended by ISAE 3000 revised. I give a high level of assurance. Yes, University of Education Winneba.
Reasonable assurance.
That answer, reasonable assurance, given on the 2nd clue, will give the University of Education 4 points. That is correct. Reasonable assurance. They answered on the 2nd clue 4 points. Riddle number 3. Riddle number 3. I am a product costing system, generally used in a just-in-time inventory system. I am also an accounting method designed to record cost under specific conditions. 2. I am used by companies who generally have short production cycles, commoditized product, and a low or constant inventory. 3. In theory, I appear to be a sensible way to avoid the many complexities associated with assigning cost to products and inventory. 4. I use a standard cost per unit and multiplies this cost by the number of units produced to determine the expense amount. And then 5. In short, I am an accounting method that records the cost associated with producing a good or service only after they are produced, completed, or sold. Yes, UEW.
Backflash accounting.
Yes, backflash accounting. They answered on the last clue, that is 3 points. 3 points on the last clue. Riddle number 4. Riddle number 4. I am an international regulatory accord designed to improve the regulation, supervision, and risk management of the banking sector. 2. I was devised in 2009 by a consortium of central banks from 28 countries, mainly in response to the financial crisis of 2007-2008 and the subsequent economic recession. 3. I am part of an evolving framework that adapts to changes in national economies and the financial landscape. My key principles include provisions on common equity tier 1, capital requirement of risk-weighted assets, leverage ratio and liquidity requirement, etc. 5. I am the third in a series of agreements by a committee on banking supervision, establishing a framework that sets international standards for bank capital adequacy, stress testing, and liquidity requirements. Who am I? UEW.
A covenant.
No, that is not correct. Do you have an answer for me? Audience want to try. Please wait. Pentecost is still on the floor. Okay, they've been bailed out. Audience. Yes, but the Basel Accord or Basel III Accord. Radio number 5. Radio number 5. I am an important issue in marketing strategy when an organization aims to carry out brand extension. I normally occur when a new product is similar to an existing product and both share the same customer base. I result in no increase in the company's market share despite sales growth for the new products. 4, I may occur deliberately to blow out the competition, while other times it's a failure to reach a new target market. And then 5, in marketing strategy, I am a reduction in sales volume, sales revenue or market share of one product when the same company introduces a new product. Yes, UEW.
Cannibalization.
Cannibalization is correct. Market cannibalization is correct. We asked questions on that yesterday. On that note, we come to the end of the contest between UEW and Pentecost University. We wait for the final scores to determine who won this contest. Ladies and gentlemen, firstly, the scores for round 5. We are waiting for the scores for round 5 before we go on to the final scores for this contest. At the end of round 5, Pentecost University had no score, UEW had 13 points. So we wait for the final scores. But before then, a discussion with my people on stage. Pentecost University, your general assessment of the contest.
Well, not as expected, though.
Not as expected? What happened? What do you think happened?
Yeah, I think we should have gone deeper into our studies, so we'll do that later.
Okay. What do you make of your opponents?
Yes, so they are good. They've shown their preparation, equipment. I think it's good. We've learned that from them.
UEW, how do you assess the contest?
This is actually a quarter-final contest. It's actually tough, and we know that it is by the doing of the Lord that we are here.
Okay. How do you assess your opponents?
They are very sharp and then good guys from a very brilliant school, A school for that matter. And it's just that today it's unfortunate for them that they have made the best school in Ghana.
Ladies and gentlemen, schools are giving themselves titles. Yes. The final scores at the end of the contest. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the contest, Pentecost University had 35 points. The University of Education Winneba had 76.5 points. Please give it up for them. Now, by this result, the University of Education Winneba has qualified to the semi-final stage and back-to-back editions. Congratulations to you, University of Education Winneba. You have shown that you are the defending national champion and the Southwest Zonal champion. Congratulations once again. I'll see you at the semi-finals. Pentecost University, unfortunately, your journey at this year's Tertiary Business Science Challenge will have to come to an end at the quarterfinal stage. I think it is a great performance from you, but unfortunately, you met a school that was just better on the day. You just need to go and then prepare better, come back stronger. I know you have a lot within you, and you'll do great next year. So I'll see you in the 2025 editions. Thank you very much for coming this year. Ladies and gentlemen, the contest between these two very great institutions has come to an end. At the end of the contest, the University of Education Winneba has won, and they've qualified to join the University of Cape Coast, University of Ghana, and the University for Development Studies at the semi-final stage. 4 contests, 4 public universities. The next contest will be between 2 public universities. The SD Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies. Sorry. Thank you. The next contest will be between the University for SD Dombo University for Business and Integrated Development Studies and the University for Energy and Natural Resources. I hope you join us in that contest as we bring you two very great institutions to do battle. On behalf of Graphic Business, ICAG and GTEC, on behalf of TV3 Daily Graphic Online, and my sponsors, Gold Ghana, MTN Ghana, Compi Ghana, Glyco Life, PwC, and the Ghana National Association of Teachers, my studio audience, and all those who joined online. On behalf of my technical team, Jacob Doku, David Abel, David Gazo Asari, Felix Tay, AJ Alfred Ako, Prosper Zuma, Hussein Zakari Ivonai, NSJC, Francis, Joshua, Harrison, and Franklin Akai, and everybody who was part of this contest. I say thank you so much. I'll see you at the next contest. Until then, my name is still Al Hassan Yusuf Trauli, and of course, I love academic violence.